Hello, Physio practice owners. If you want to know about a framework that makes it almost impossible for you not to achieve the goals you set for your practice, then this is the episode for you. Hello, and welcome to today's episode. It is a big one when it comes to really scaling and growing your physio practice. And that is really knowing where you want it to go first. All right? Now, unfortunately, what can happen is we can come up with a really bold but achievable goal, right? We might have a target of, let's just say, add a new practice by the end of this year or in the next 12 months, or add this many staff, or increase revenue by this much, whatever that is, right? Obviously, after you've come up with the goal, it can be often really overwhelming as to knowing exactly how to make that goal a reality. So in other words, you just don't know the steps to really get there. And at the end, it's not really about the goal that should be the focus. The focus should be on the action steps to get there. Sounds very basic, doesn't it? But I'm going to share with you a framework today that if you follow through and if you take your time doing this process, it makes it almost impossible for you not to achieve whatever target, whatever goal that you set for your practice. And not just for your practice, but basically anywhere in life. All right. And let's get into it. Well, I guess the first thing is getting to know exactly what your goal is. All right. Let's just say, you're going to have 3 physios by the end of the year. That's your goal. Right? Or hire 3 physios in the next 12 months. So as you know, the goals need to be a SMART goal, S-M-A-R-T. So it needs to be specific, it needs to be measurable, it needs to be achievable, it needs to be relevant, and obviously needs to be a time bound. After you've created a SMART goal, which is obviously, for typically practice owners, that's an easier thing. But if you're not doing that, just really think about keeping it smart, really specific. So in the case of, add extra 3 physios in the next 12 months. Okay. It's a very specific goal. Add 3 physios. That's a specific part. You can measure it, obviously, as well, by the number of physios. That's a measurable part. Is it achievable? Right. Only you can say if it's achievable or not. For example, if you have a practice of 10 physios, and if you want to add another 20 in the next 12 months, doable, but you can ask yourself, is it achievable? So in this instance, 3 physios, is it achievable? You should know that. You would know that. That's something that you need to be really clear on, right? Is it relevant to you? Is it going to actually move you into action because it's relevant? So in this case, if you want to expand your practice and your revenue and your growth of your practice, adding 3 staff is going to be relevant. It's going to be a relevant goal. And time bound, in this instance, it's 12 months, all right? Obviously, this is the most important part. Without this, you can't actually follow the framework through. You need to first create a SMART goal, whatever goal that is. And the way you achieve it then becomes, with the structure I'm just about to share with you, very, very simple. All right. What it is you break it down into what we call tiered goals. There's 3 tiers of goal. And what that is your main SMART goal, in this case, add 3 physios in the next 12 months. That's your tier 1 goal. That's the only thing that remains in the first tier, right? Then you go into tier 2, all right? These are all the main parts that need to happen, that if you achieve these goals, it makes it almost impossible for you not to achieve the tier 1 goal, which is you're adding the 3 staff, right? So it's really figuring out what are the big steps you need to achieve to have the 3 staff actually come over. That if you do them, it's almost impossible for you to actually achieve the tier 1 goal, right? Now, that's not enough. Even at the tier 2 goal, that's a big goal. Right? It typically can be a big step. Even at that point, if you're not really clear on how to achieve them, there's a good chance you're going to get lost and overwhelmed and not going to achieve the tier 2 goals. Therefore, the tier 1 goal will fail as well. So what we need to do at this point, for each tier 2 goal, you create a set of main things that you need to achieve, right? That if you achieve those tier 3 goals, makes it almost impossible for you not to achieve the tier 2 goal, right? And you do that process for every one of the tier 2 goals. Obviously, that's related to the tier 1 goal, right? If you've done it correctly, you'll have a quite big list of tier 3 goals, which are manageable, almost daily things you can do that are much, much easier to do rather than the tier 1 goal or the tier 2 goal. They're much more easy things to do, right? Then the way it works is, obviously, if you focus on the tier 3 goals and absolutely doing them to absolute perfection and giving it everything you got to nail those, you make it almost impossible for you not to achieve the tier 2 goal. Now remember that if you achieve all the tier 2 goals, if you've done this correctly, it makes it almost impossible for you not to achieve the tier 3 goal, right? So if you really think about it, what this is doing is it's basically breaking down a big goal into pieces that are much more manageable. Because what will tend to happen is there's going to be quite a lot of things that will be completely outside of your control. All right. You have no control over them. That may contribute whether you achieve the overall objective of the goal or not. All right. Which is the tier 1 goal. So coming down with this system into the tier 3 goals, right? What you'll find is it basically eliminates anything that can happen externally. You're focusing on what you can do, right? All the little things you can do on a daily basis almost that help you achieve bigger goals, which lead you to achieving bigger goals. Now, what I encourage you to do, all right, obviously, if you have some big plans and big goals for your practice or practices in the next period of time, whatever that is, 12 months, quarter, whatever that is, write that goal down, make it very specific, make it a smart, specific goal. Then take the time to figure out what are the big things you need to achieve that if you achieve those things in the tier 2 level, that is, it's almost impossible. And it's very important that you think like that. If you achieve these tier 2 goals, all of them, it's almost impossible for you not to achieve the tier 1 goal. When you know you're happy with the tier 2 goal, then ask the same questions of the tier 3 goals. Which are the things that I need to do that are much easier and manageable and feel lighter, that if I complete all of them, it's almost impossible for you not to achieve the tier 2 goal that it is connected to. All right. So what this does is, at the end of the day, you can focus not on the tier 1 goal. Obviously, that's your main goal, but you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on things that are much more psychologically easier for you to do, which are the tier 3 goals. They're much more manageable, much easier. You can find out how to do them smarter, delegate them, or get really efficient with it, have a process around them, and, absolutely focus and give you energy in getting the tier 3s done. All right. And without knowing, you're going to get closer towards the tier 1 goals. All right. So this is a very powerful technique when it comes to setting goals in what to do. All right. Maybe this is a good thing to, have a chat with your team in terms of what their goals are. Maybe if you have a team of managers and working with them in creating this process as well, what we find is when we do this process really well, the chance of you achieving the tier 1 goals massively increases, right? So I hope that really helped. I can't wait for you to see and achieve all the goals that you set for yourself. This is a great framework. If you found that useful, there's more videos, articles, podcasts, things to download, all that kind of thing on our website, physiomarketing.co. Head down there, have a look at them, all right? And if you want some help who are experts in the physio field and practices in terms of getting them more profitable, getting them scaled up and help them grow, feel free to book a call with us. Always happy to help you out there as well. Other than that, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.